Now let's talk about the spiritual discipline of serving. This is something we see modeled by Jesus himself. We find this in John chapter 13. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. So Jesus models what service looks like. And we need to follow that example and serve one another. Philippians 2 talks about this. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but rather in humility value others ahead of yourself, not thinking of your own needs, but each of you meeting the needs and the interests of one another. In your relationship with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. So Jesus modeled to us, what does it look like to serve one another? It comes down in lowly fashion to help one another out at our own expense. So fill this in. You can write this down. Being a servant is giving up the right to be in charge. Jesus, who is equal with God the Father, he gave up his right to be in charge. He came down to earth. He lived among humans so that he could help us. That's what it means to serve, is to lower yourself to help other people. So servanthood is different from serving because serving is an action. It's something that we do. Whereas servanthood is more of a lifestyle. It's an attitude. And that's the lifestyle and attitude that Jesus took on, that he's inviting us to take on as well, is to take on the lifestyle of servanthood, to help one another out, and on a daily basis to serve one another as well. And along with serving is the idea of humility. Now, humility is often misunderstood. It's not necessarily thinking less of ourselves. It's not self-contempt. It's not pouring shame on ourselves. It's not saying, oh, we suck or we're not good or whatever. It's actually the opposite of that. It's knowing your value, but it's actually just thinking of yourself less. So humility is not thinking less of ourselves, but thinking of ourselves less, which means that we're actually thinking of others more. And when we're thinking of them, then we're thinking about how we can serve them, how we can help them, how we can benefit them. So here's some practical ideas on how to serve others. Number one is when you see something that needs to be done, do it. Actually fulfill a need as you see it come to be. Number two, allow interruptions, even when you're busy. Allow those interruptions to occur. Step into those moments, be present in the moment, and to make yourself available. Number three, if you're too busy, give someone permission to unbusy your schedule. So allow others to speak into your life, to look at your calendar, to knock some things off that just aren't important, and allow yourself the freedom of time, the presence to be available to help and to serve other people. Number four, gently bear with those who are difficult. So it can be really hard when we have to bear with difficult people who are overwhelming, who are demanding, but gently allow yourselves to bear with them, to serve them even when it's not very fun. Number five, practice hospitality. One of the best ways that we can serve others is to be a hospitable person, to allow them to come into our home, to open ourselves up to them, to serve them, to meet their needs, to make for them a meal, something that is hospitable, something that is welcoming and loving. I mean, hospitality is one of the greatest ways that you can serve a human being. Number six is to practice listening well. Not to be thinking about what you want to say next, but just to be present in the moment, to hear them, to listen to them, to seek to understand them. Number seven is to join a serving team. So one of the ways that you can serve is actually to serve on Sunday mornings. We have, several different serving teams available, ways that you can jump in on a Sunday morning to help our Sunday morning gatherings happen. We have a need in basically all of our teams. So we would love it if you joined us by serving in that way. Lastly, is to serve your home church and to serve with your home church. So you can serve your home church by maybe making yourself available to host. Be hospitable. Open up your home. Host it so that it's not just on the leaders. Another way you can do that is that every 2 or 3 months in our home churches, we're actually supposed to be doing service projects where we serve our community. We meet a need of theirs. And so be on the front lines by serving and meeting the needs, not just of yourselves and of your own home church. I mean, that's good and that's great. But to actually serve those in your community as well through service projects in your home church.